don't want to think about tagging. She has an elite outfield arm, 18 career assists, and that will keep LePan at second base with 2 down for Tori Swain. The other reason you don't want to think about tagging, outside of the fact that you weren't going to get to third base, is that Swain, with one swing of the bat, could easily make this a 3-1 game. She has such elite power that you don't want to risk not giving her a chance. This time she knifes it out to right center, and a diving effort from Paulina to get the third out. That easily saved a run, and we head to the bottom of the 6th. The Beacons with some great defense to keep the Spartans off the board. We'll see if the old baseball cliche comes true, as Taylor Paulina made a tremendous defensive play to end the top of the 6th inning. She leads off here in the bottom of the 6th inning. Paulina, the Beacons' 5-hole hitter today, has a sac fly and singled, but was thrown out trying to stretch her single into a double to end the 3rd inning. Paulina just looking to give the Beacons a base runner here in the 6th inning. Single run here could easily be enough the way Greenspan is pitching, and she hits it softly over the head of Van Gordon, and it's a diving effort from the left fielder this time, Fack, to rob Paulina, who just robbed Swain on the other side. So 2 really good defensive efforts, and there's no one on with 1 out for Kira Pressmack. We talked about the defense of these 2 teams, and we're seeing it here, but it's a little bit more of the outfield defense in Ari Bellata than the infield defense. Kira Pressmack struck out swinging, singled to third base, and stole third, but was stranded at third base back in the 4th. Beacons have had their chances, put on at least 1 base runner in every inning, and have left 5 through 5 frames. Fish, the third baseman, is playing in a lot closer past the third base bag this at-bat, after allowing the ball to hit the third base bag and be a fair ball the last time up, as she was even with the bag. 1-1 to Pressmack, who hit the game-winning walk-off hit in Game 2 last year against Castleton. The Beacons walked off in both contests. Misses 2-1. The player who hit the game-winning walk-off hit in Game 1 of that doubleheader is in the on-deck circle, Tori DeCenso. 3-0, actually, to Pressmack. We'll see if she has the red light instead swinging. It's now 3-1. Wright has walked just 1 batter, and that came to the second batter of the bottom of the 1st inning. 3-1 to Pressmack, who does not walk all that frequently. Pretty free swinger. Pressmack hits that one tailing foul, and it'll be 3-2 now. On the season, Pressmack has walked just 1 time versus 66 at-bats. Struck out 14 times. Right now, you either want her to put the ball in play or get a walk. Can't afford a strikeout right now, as the Beacons desperately need that base runner. Pops it up. Should be playable for the left fielder, Fack. Coming over and making the play is the third baseman, Fish. Believe that would have been a fair ball. Brings up DeCenso, who has struck out swinging and singled through the left side in her 2 at-bats. Beacons do have a pinch hitter in the on-deck circle if it gets to that point, as Cassidy Gaeta would hit for Jayla Blackman in the 8 spot. First pitch to DeCenso. Again, fooled. She's been fooled a lot by Wright today. 0-1 to the sophomore first baseman, Anna Lynn. Beacons, even if they don't get a base runner, would have the leadoff spot up in the next inning. 8-9-1. DeCenso takes that up high. Castleton in the 7th would go 5-6-7. So realistically, even if you don't get a run, you want DeCenso to get on, maybe Blackman, so you can have some of your better hitters up in the 7th inning with a chance to walk off or tie the game. DeCenso takes a nice pitch on the outside half, 1-2. Beacons trying to avoid going down 1-2-3 in back-to-back innings as Wright is now retired 8 in a row. Gave up back-to-back base hits to start the 4th. Has retired everyone since. DeCenso fouls it up and over our heads. Count will stay at 1-2. To DeCenso, who remember had 2 home runs the last time she was here at the UMB softball field. First 2 home runs of the season. Hit 1 as a freshman. Has immense power, but has struggled to consistently do that in games. 1-2. That's nice pitch at the knees on the outside half. DeCenso has now struck out twice, and that is 5 total strikeouts for Wright. We head to the 7th. Still a 1-1 game. Quick look around around Beaconville. The Beacons baseball team was supposed to play an impromptu game today at St. Joseph's College of Maine, but the Monks field unplayable, so they will travel to Nichols College for their first game of the week tomorrow at 3. The men's tennis team, 2 games left in their regular season. They'll travel to Clark on Thursday at 3 before traveling to Rhode Island College Saturday at 1 p.m. with the conference title on the line as the Beacons 6-0, Rhode Island College currently with just 1 loss. The Beacons need a win in that match to guarantee the 1 seed, although the tiebreakers likely would go the Beacons' way if there was a 3-way tie. First pitch in and out of the glove of Vento. Devin Millerick today, 1 for 2, singled and scored in the 2nd before lining out to the 3rd baseman to end the 4th. The 1-0 to Millerick. Just a bit outside, 2-0. Greenspan's been trying to hit that outside corner. Apparently has just missed with each of the first 2 pitches. Millerick riding a 7-game hitting streak. Pops that one up. Danahy coming in, and she makes a nice catch. Able to corral that ball to keep Millerick off the base pass. Remember, Millerick and Braga, top 2 base thieves in the conference with 16 apiece, and that's a big first out for Greenspan. Brings up Jamie Boyle, who singled her first time up, but was retired as part of an inning-ending 5-3 double play in the 2nd, and then grounded out to the 3rd baseman in the 5th. Boyle hit a home run yesterday, and she gets her 2nd hit of the game here with a hard hit single over the head of Greenspan for a 1-out base runner in the 7th. Just the 5th hit of the game for Castleton, and I think we're going to see a pinch runner over there at first base. Boyle, a catcher, see if you can get a little bit more speed, thinking that that 1 run could be the difference. Instead, it's going to be Michaela Arjevich re-entered into the contest. Remember, Arjevich, the designated player, was pinch run for by McKenna Thorne back in the 5th inning. So Arjevich, who's 2 for 2, the single through the right side and a single to center, looking to keep her perfect day going. Arjevich, the freshman out of Meriden, Connecticut, came in 8 for 36, but now 10 for 38. Seen her batting average rise over 30 points thus far. Hit out to right. This one's tailing foul, and it's going to be into the corner and a fair ball. Going to 3rd base is Boyle. The throw will come in, and it'll keep Boyle at 3rd base. So that ball hit deep into the right field corner, but not quite deep enough to get the catcher all the way home. And now the Beacons in real dire straits, 2nd and 3rd with just 1 out. in a 1-1 game, and it'll be Kylie Wright, the pitcher, the chance to win the game for herself. Arjevich 3 for 3, 2 singles and a double, and Natalia Ardagnan is going to come out and talk to Greenspan. Now, first base is open if you want to face Kayla Fack, the 9-hole hitter, but either way, you'd have to face the top of the order after that. Very interesting situation to see what Natalia Ardagnan will do. It's just a 1-1 game, but what do you feel most confident in getting these last 2 outs without giving up a run? Remember, the Beacons would bring up 8-9-1 in the bottom of the 7th. This is more of a must-win game for Castleton, who comes in 9th out of 9 teams at 3-9. But the Beacons can ill afford to lose both games today. Even one loss could be a little bit hurtful if Beacons are worried about their seeding. But you have to get at least one to make sure, with so many teams still only having played 10 games. This is the Beacons' 13th conference game. The next one will be 14. To make sure that you get into the conference tournament. The Beacons snuck in as the 6th seed last year and won it all. Need to get in before you can think about winning it for a 3rd consecutive season. Brings up Kylie Wright, the pitcher who has grounded into an inning-ending double play to the 3rd baseman and popped up to the 3rd baseman. First pitch is fouled off down the 3rd base line. Wright is now 3 for 21 in conference play. The single run scored and a single RBI. Came in hitting .292 overall, but has struggled in conference. 0-1, swung on, and she chased the pitch out of the zone, 0-2. Greenspan with 3 strikeouts thus far. A strikeout here, and feel a lot more comfortable getting out of the inning with the 9-hole hitter Fack due up next. Big spot right now, pitcher versus pitcher. Greenspan doesn't get the chance to hit for herself. So the 0-2 is hit out to right. This one is going to be caught by Paulina, but ranging backwards, the runner will tag. The throw from Paulina is going to be late, and it's a sacrifice fly from Kylie Wright. Moving up to 3rd base is Arjevich, and just like that, Castleton has their first lead of the game, 2-1, with 2 outs in the 7th inning.
Now batting the left fielder, Kayla Fack.
Kayla Fack steps up. A little bit less pressure now with 1 run already in. Freshman out of Watertown, Connecticut. Came in hitting .176 with 6 RBI. First pitch is in there for a strike, 0-1. Fack has flown out to right center and hit into a fielder's choice. They ruled that Bonila was interfered by the pinch runner McKenna Thorne back in the 5th. 0-1. Misses outside, 1-1. The sun behind some clouds right now. It's gotten significantly cooler, especially with the wind whipping a little bit harder. 1-1 to Fack. 1-1, hit out to right center. This one should get down, and it will, in front of Bonilla. And just like that, Castleton, not just 1 but 2 runs here in the 7th. And the Beacons are going to have a little bit of a mountain to climb against Kylie Wright. Nice piece of hitting from Fack, who just was able to knife that one out to right center. The ball was in on her hands a little bit, and Fack picks up her 7th RBI of the season and first hit in LAC conference play. First pitch to LePan, misses wide, 1-0. LePan is grounded out to 3rd twice and reached on an error by the shortstop her last time up. Beacons led 1-0 after 1. Castleton tied it 1-1 in the top of the 2nd, but they now lead. This ball is hit foul on the right field line. Long run from Paulina. Grabs it on a hop, 1-1. It's a good sell by Taylor, but that ball clearly hit the outfield grass first. For the Beacons in the bottom of the 7th, it'll be the 8th spot. Cassidy Gaeta was awaiting on deck for Jayla Blackman, followed by Kelly Danahy and Gigi Braga. The Beacons are going to need base runners. Have to hope they can get it to Vento and Bellotta with a chance to walk off or at least tie it. A little bit low. 2-1 now to LePan. First, they got to get out of this inning. With 1 out, Boyle singled. Arjevich double to the right field corner, followed by sacrifice fly and an RBI single out to right center from Fack, who stands at first base. 2-1. Change up in there, 2-2. 2-2 coming to the Spartans leadoff hitter as they look for their 7th win in their last 9 games. Just throws the bat out and fouls that one off. If LaPan were to reach, Van Gordon awaits on deck. So either way, if the Beacons are able to if the Beacons are able to tie the game in the top of the 7th, UMass Boston would have to deal with the middle of the order in the 8th, but that's asking a lot right now. The Beacons have to get a third out and then hope that they can get something against Kylie Wright, who has just been simply incredible, especially with runners on. Hit hard, knocked down by Bonila, who makes yet another play and throws across. Ari Bellata's defense has been fantastic, but the Beacons trail for the first time. It's 3-1 through 6.5, and UMass Boston needs at least 2 to tie, 3 to walk off. Cassidy Gata, who we saw in the on-deck circle for Jayla Blackman in the 6th inning, will in fact pinch hit for Blackman to start the bottom of the 7th. Gata, the Beacons' sophomore first baseman out of North Reading, Massachusetts, takes the first pitch for a strike. Gata hitting .208 on the season, 11 for 53 with 7 runs scored, 10 RBI and a homer. Just looking to reach right now. As the 0-1 is hit hard out to center, but right at Millerick on a line. The Beacons have done that more times than they would like. That's a good swing from Gata. But Millerick didn't have to move, and there's one out for Wright, who has now retired 10 in a row for the Spartans. UMass Boston down to their final 2 outs. This is a doubleheader. You need to split. If you're the Beacons, for the Spartans, you kind of feel like you need to sweep. You win 4 in a row if you're Castleton. You should get in as Danahy hits it out to left. Should be playable, but the left fielder slipped and still makes the play. Fack able to recover, and the Beacons are now down to their final out. Be the top of the order for UMass Boston. Braga is 1 for 3. A single over the head of the third baseman, a ground out to short, and a strikeout swinging. Just needs to get on any way she can. Right now, if you can get Braga and then Bonila on, you've got a real chance with Vento and then Bonila. And Braga hits it hard out to left. It'll take a hop in front of Fack. And Braga has her second hit, and the Beacons still have life here as they bring the tying run to the plate in the bottom of the 7th with 2 down. Braga is the first Beacon with multiple hits. Beacons have 8 hits for the contest, but that was their first hit since no outs in the 4th inning. Bonilla has walked, grounded out to the pitcher, and grounded out to the shortstop. Bonilla takes the first pitch down the middle, but low, 1-0. Just needs to get on any way she can. Vento is 0 for 3, but it's tough to hold her down for long. And Bonila right behind her is also a tremendous hitter. 1-0, that's lower, 2-0. And with Bonila's speed, if she hits this anywhere but right at someone on the ground, liable to reach base, she is an elite base runner. 2-0, that one's on the inside half at the belt, 2-1. Braga is going to stay put there at first base. No reason to put her in motion and potentially run into the final out. 2-1, rise ball high, 3-1. Big pitch coming from Kylie Wright. You do not want to face Roxanne Vento in this spot with the tying runs aboard. 3-1 coming to Bonila. That bounces up there, and it's Bonila's second walk of the game, and it'll bring up Vento. Wright has walked just 2 batters, both times to Bonila, once in the first, once in the 7th. And with 2 outs, Vento will have a chance to come through with their first hit of the day. She's lined out to short, flown out to center, flown out to deep center field, right just shy of the warning track on a ball that sounded like it was hit better than it was hit the last time. Remember, the Beacons walked off both times last year against the Spartans. Chance here to at least tie it. UMass Boston 9-3 this season at home. Won 5 in a row, but they're going to need a 7th inning comeback. They're going to add on another win. UMass Boston has walked off once this season here at home. Game against Keene State on Senior Day, a Game 1 victory in which Brittany Perquette, the Beacons pinch runner, drew a throw down to third base on an attempted pickoff. The throw got away from the third baseman, and Perquette was able to race home with the game-winning run in a 2-1 8-inning victory. Vento, the conference's leader in average and RBI, gets her 4th chance against Kylie Wright. 192 career hits, 127 career RBI, 43 doubles, 4 triples, and 16 home runs. See if she can add to any of those totals right here. 2 on, 2 outs. The Beacons trail by 2. First pitch to Vento is low. You don't have to pitch to Vento here, but if you do put her on, even if it's an unintentional, intentional walk, you bring up Bonila, and then Vento would be the game-winning run on first base. Not that I think that they're thinking about putting her on necessarily. The 1-0 from right is hit out to left, tailing foul, and that will get down in foul territory. If that ball was fair, it might have been caught. Certainly would have been an extra base hit if it wasn't, but tailing foul the whole way, and that's happened a lot with Vento today. She has been out ahead, or she's been a little bit behind on some of these right pitches, just trying to get the timing. She's fouled off quite a few pitches, especially down the left field line. So 1-1 now with 2 very speedy base runners on base. The 1-1 to Vento hits softly up the middle. Van Gordon's only play is the first. The throw is in time, and the Beacons fall 3-1 in game number 1. Castleton with 2 runs in the top of the 7th inning to hand the Beacons the loss, the first ever win for the Spartans over the Beacons. So UMass Boston with the loss falls to 20-14, 6-7 in conference play. On the opposite side, Castleton picks up their 14th win, 14-16 now, and a big 4th conference win to keep their conference tournament hopes alive. Remember, dominant in the North Atlantic Conference, not so much in the Little East Conference. We'll have game 2 for you in about 15 to 20 minutes. You have to close out the stream and then open up the game number 2 stream. We just want to give a shout out to our production crew for game number 1. Gigi Braga, the Beacons shortstop, set up all the graphics for this contest. Mary Jo Murphy was directing, Stevie Bryant on camera. My name is Seth Lorensky. That'll do it for game number 1. UMass Boston falls by a 3-1 score. We'll have game number 2 for you just about 15 to 20 minutes. Hello and welcome to the UMB softball field for game number 2 of our Little East Conference doubleheader. You see there, Castleton won the first game 3-1 with 2 runs in the top of the 7th inning. A sac fly from Kylie Wright, the winning pitcher for the Spartans, who allowed just 1 earned run, and a Kayla Fack RBI single with 2 outs proved to be the difference in the contest as Wright out-dueled Beacon's ace Jess Greenspan. Let's take a look at a quick Beacon spotlight before we get underway in game number 2. It's Drew Washington, one of the Beacon's pitchers from a year ago, who actually earned the win in game number 1 against Castleton in that Beacon's doubleheader sweep of the Spartans in non-conference play. Washington has not pitched an inning all season because of a shoulder injury, but she talks about being able to help out the team this year. She's been a key reserve outfielder and pinch hitter, and kind of staying with the Beacons and having a chance to contribute despite not being able to do what she does best, which is pitching in the circle.
Well, this past fall, my shoulder really started to hurt when I was pitching. So right after the season, I decided to take the winter off. I didn't lift. I didn't do any throwing. I didn't do anything. I sat out through 5 a.m.s. And then when I got home, back to New Jersey over winter break, I saw a shoulder specialist, and he said that I have osteochromial and that he thought I needed surgery. But I decided to try physical therapy first. So when I got back here in January, I did physical therapy, and that kind of helped me get through the season with a little less pain. In the fall, I thought I just had pain, like I thought it was maybe just overuse or something, but when I saw the doctor, he said it was a much bigger issue. So I literally was in tears. I called coach crying. I thought I was going to be out for the entire season. I didn't think I was going to be able to throw a ball or anything, but she calmed me down and we decided to think of an alternative. So that's when I looked to physical therapy. It's definitely been a great experience. Even though I love to pitch, I also love outfield just as much. So it was, even though I missed pitching, it was kind of nice to be able to just focus on one thing, because when I'm pitching and playing bright, it's kind of hard to balance both and like try to work on both at the same time. So it was nice to just do that, and I also love to bat, so it was really nice to just focus on those 2 things and get some time in right field and get some at-bats. Well, in 5 a.m.s, I was literally just sitting on the sideline. So I would, if I saw them doing something small, like not finishing or not following through right, I would mention to them that they were doing that and try to tell them from my own experience what to do to improve. And as freshmen, we're all nervous. So like in Florida, during some of their first games, and they didn't like maybe do so well the first time, they would come in like discouraged, and I would try to lift them up because we've all been through it. Like we've all had an awful game. Over the summer, when I get home, I'm going to see my shoulder specialist again, and we're either going to go forward with surgery or he will either give me some other options. But I definitely want to get back to pitching, and I'll probably see my pitching coach over the summer, and with a combination of all those things, hopefully I'll be able to get back in the circle either late fall or the beginning of next spring.
Hello and welcome back for game number 2 of our Little East Conference doubleheader. The Spartans took game number 1 by a 3-1 score. The Beacons and Spartans will throw their number 2s in this contest. Hayley Catania, the freshman out of Amesbury, Massachusetts, is in the circle for UMass Boston. Coming off one of her better outings of the season, allowed just 1 earned run, 3 hits, and 2 walks over 6 innings in a 1-0 loss to the Beacons last time out. UMass Boston has managed just 1 run over their last 14 innings of action. Catania on the season, making her 17th appearance in 15 starts, 6-6 with 1 save, 88 in the 3rd innings, 3.41 ERA, 37 strikeouts, 29 walks, has allowed 105 hits, 56 runs, 43 earned in conference play. Rather, at home, she is an impressive 4-1 with a 2.16 ERA. And, of course, we are here at home at the UMB softball field. Leading off for Castleton is their leadoff hitter from Game 1, Kate LePan, the second baseman who went 0 for 4. 3 groundouts to the third baseman and reached on an error by the shortstop. LePan to be followed by Callie Van Gordon, the shortstop. Miranda Fish, the third baseman. Tori Swain's the designated player. Devin Millerick is the center fielder. Jamie Boyle is the catcher. Michaela Arjevich is the first baseman. Jana Ryan is the lone player in the lineup who was not in the lineup in Game 1. Ryan is the right fielder hitting 8th. And hitting 9th is Kayla Fack. Hit softly over to Braga, the Beacons shortstop, thrown across. DeCenso makes the play, and Fack is retired 6-3. Every ball she's hit today has been over on the left side. Brings up Callie Van Gordon, the shortstop, who went 0 for 2 in Game 1. Struck out looking. Popped up out of the first baseman and put down a 2-4 sacrifice bunt in the 6th inning. For the Beacons defensively, as the ball is popped up on the infield, DeCenso will make the play for a quick out number 2. UMass Boston with the same outfield lineup. Kira Pressmack, Giovanna Bonila, and Taylor Paulina. The infield the same as well. Ari Bellata, Gigi Braga, Kelly Danahy, and Tori DeCenso with Roxanne Vento behind the plate. The only difference for the Beacons is Hayley Catania, although when we get to it in the bottom of the first, the Beacons do have a drastically different looking lineup as they try to adjust to Eric Ramey's interesting defensive alignments with his lefty slap hitter defense that caused the Beacons some problems as the ball is knifed over to DeCenso. Bobbles it, has time, will tag the bag with the glove, and Miranda Fish is retired 3-U. So a quick 1-2-3 top of the first for Hayley Catania. We'll take a quick break, and then we'll bring you the numbers on Castleton pitcher Emily Harvey in the bottom of the first inning. The pitcher for Castleton in game number 2 is Emily Harvey, one of their 4 freshman pitchers. Harvey out of Essex Junction, Vermont, 5'2". She won the D1 state title last year, where she was teammates with Makeda Thorne, who was a pinch runner in game 1. Harvey on the season, 13 appearances, tied for second on the team, but just 3 starts, which is fewest amongst their 4 pitchers. 1-1 with a 5.87 ERA, comes in with a team low 22 2/3 innings pitched. Just 5 strikeouts, which is also lowest on the team versus 15 walks. It's allowed 33 hits, 22 runs, 19 earned. This is just her second conference start, 8th total appearance. 0-0 with a 5.60 ERA, 10 innings pitched, 1 strikeout versus 3 walk. She's not likely to go all that deep. She's thrown 2 2/3 innings pitched or fewer in 12 of her last 13 appearances. Had a really nice appearance a couple weeks ago. 4 1/3 innings, got the win. 4 hits, no earned, a strikeout, and 4 walks on the 22nd of April, which was actually Monday. against Middlebury in that Game 1 victory. Or she came on in relief in Game 2 of Arjevich, who is in the lineup as the designated player. So coming off her best career outing, her longest career outing, she faces a Beacons lineup that looks very different. Ari Bellotta, who was hitting cleanup in Game 1, hits number 1 in Game 2, pops it up at long run for the right fielder. Coming in on it and making the play is Jana Ryan, who was not in the lineup in Game 1 offensively, but was the flex position player, and she makes the play to retire Bellotta. Gigi Braga, who hit leadoff in Game 1 and has been hitting leadoff pretty much all season long, hits second. Roxanne Vento hits third. Taylor Paulino moves up one spot to fourth. Alyssa Tully's into the lineup for the Beacons, hitting fifth as the DP. Kira Pressmack hits sixth. Tori DeCenso hits seventh. Giovanna Bonila moves from the second spot to the eighth spot as the Beacons look to break up their lefty slappers, and Kelly Danahy stays in the 9-hole playing second base. Braga was the lone Beacon with multiple hits in Game 1. She had a pair of singles and was stranded out at second base in the bottom of the seventh as the Beacons put 2 on with 2 outs. Braga, first-team all-conference shortstop last season. 36 of 108 this year as that pitch is low. 3-0 to the Beacons shortstop. One note, Paul Dion, who's the home plate umpire in Game 1, is also the home plate umpire in Game 2. Arnie Walker will stay on the base pass. Typically you switch the umpires, but a little bit of a medical issue, so Dion stays behind the plate, did a nice job in Game 1, and Braga is aboard with a 1-out walk. Brings up Roxanne Vento, who went 0 for 4, including a game-ending ground out to the shortstop in Game 1. The conference's leader in batting average and RBI. Flew out to center twice, lined out to the shortstop, and grounded out to Callie Van Gordon in Game number 1. First pitch to her from Harvey. Rise ball high, 1-0. Taylor Paulina awaits on deck, and in the hole is Alyssa Tully as the Beacons put their 3 seniors in the middle of the order, 3, 4, 5, trying to spark this team that, again, has just scored 1 run in their last 2 games. Vento hits it hard through the right side, hit number 193. Braga will hold up at second, and Vento is 4 hits shy of the program record, at least tying it. Sue Killalay, the current holder of the program record for career hits, gives her a high five over at first base. 2 on with 1 out for Taylor Paulina, as we already have some shadows on the infield. The sun being cut off by the edge of the Clark Athletic Center on the left field side. So home plate right now in the shadows while the circle is in full daylight as Taylor Paulina takes the first pitch out for ball 1. One and 0 to Paulina, senior right fielder out of Woonsocket, Rhode Island, who had a sacrifice fly in Game 1 to plate the only run the Beacons had. Hits it softly over to the second baseman, who avoids the base runner Vento and is able to scoop it over to Arjevich for out number 1. A nice play by LePan. So 2 runners in scoring position with 2 outs for Alyssa Tully, senior designated player out of UMass, making her first plate appearance of the day. Tully has hit a robust .440 in 10 home games this year, 11 of 25 with 5 runs scored and a double. First pitch to her, high and away, 1-0. Braga with great speed at third. Vento, decent speed out at second base, but realistically, UMass Boston desperate to get any kind of runs here in the first inning against Harvey after managing just 1 run in the bottom of the first in Game 1. As Tully hits it hard out to left, but Fack is there and she'll make the play. A loud out off the bat of Tully, who got a good piece of it, but right at Kayla Fack. And the Beacons leave a pair on here in the first. Let's take a quick look at the updated Little East Conference standings after Game 1. This is the only conference doubleheader today. Plymouth State is playing Emerson up in New Hampshire. We'll have a Game 1 update for you sooner rather than later. UMass Dartmouth 9-3, 12 games played. Eastern Connecticut State 8-4, 12 games played. Plymouth State 9-5, just 2 games left. The Beacons at 6-7 now stand at 4th place, but they have just 3 games left, and there's a horde of teams with 4 or 5 wins behind them. Keene State's at 5-5 with 6 games to play. Southern Maine's at 5-7. The Beacons play them twice tomorrow in Maine. The ball is ripped, knocked down by Bellotta. Long throw, it's over there in time. Ari Bellotta is having a sensational defensive day. That ball looked like it was behind her off the bat of Swain, able to knock it down, pick it up, and she's able to retire Swain. What a great defensive play there from Bellotta, who can only smile over there. Second team all-conference player last year, large part because of her bat. Well, she's showing off the glove today. Devin Millerick steps up with no one on and 1 out. Millerick takes the first pitch for a strike. Devin singled and scored to tie the game in the second inning of Game 1 before lining out to third and popping up to second. Final 2 at bats, 1 for 3. Swings and misses the fastball, 0-2. Finishing off the LEC standings. So Keene State currently sits in that 6th spot at 5-7. Rather, Southern Maine does at 5-7 with 2 games left against the Beacons. Western Connecticut State at 4-6, 6 games to play. So they could win as many as 10 or as few as 4. So a lot of variance there. Rhode Island College at 3-7, also 6 games to play, including 2 against Western Connecticut State. Those 2 teams were supposed to play at Western Connecticut State today, but the games are postponed. So it's just a little high, 2-2. Castleton still sitting towards the bottom of the conference at 4-9. They're pretty much equal with Rhode Island College in terms of winning percentage. 1 more win than them. They only have 3 games left, just like the Beacons, so they need to win, still have to win at least 1 more to give themselves a chance, probably 2, maybe all 3, to have a chance to get into the LEC tournament in their first year in the conference. The Beacons, they don't need to win all 3, but certainly you'd like to get at least 2 to give yourself a comfortable chance as the ball is fouled off. The issue right now is with 6 games to play for teams like Keene State, Western Connecticut State, and Rhode Island College, it's too early to project just quite where every team's going to sit. The Beacons will be through 16 games on Thursday. A lot of the other teams will be playing Saturday and even Sundays. That is on the outside corner for strike 3. First strikeout for Catania, and there are 2 down for Jamie Boyle, the freshman catcher, who scored the game-winning run in the 7th. She singled with 1 out, no one on, to start a rally that went single, double, sacrifice fly, 2 out RBI single, as the bottom of the order got to Jess Greenspan in the 7th. First pitch to Boyle is fouled off. Jamie singled twice and grounded out to third. Boyle fouls it off. 0-2 now. Catania has retired every batter she's faced, and ball hasn't gotten out of the infield yet. Michaela Arjevich awaits on deck. That is in there for strike 3. Back-to-back strikeouts looking. And Catania has pitched extremely well through an inning and a half. Take a break and bring you a look at the Beacons' upcoming schedule as UMass Boston looks for their first lead since the first inning of Game 1. Let's take a look ahead for UMass Boston. 2 games tomorrow against Southern Maine up in Gorham, Maine at 3 and 5. Those are the Beacons' final conference games. And then the Beacons, because they're done with conference play, will travel to 5th-ranked Babson College in the region. 5th-ranked in the region, not in the country, for 2 games on Saturday at Babson. The Beacons ranked 10th in the regional poll last week. We'll see if the Beacons are still ranked, as they have dropped 2 in a row and have gone 3 and 2 since the last week's regional ranking came out on Thursday. For the Beacons here in the second, it'll be Kira Pressmack, Tori DeCenso, and Giovanna Bonila. Different looking lineup. The Beacons splitting their lefty slap hitters. Pressmack was, I believe, hitting 7th in game 1. First pitch she takes is a rise ball high. Pressmack was actually hitting 6th in game 1. Struck out swinging, singled down the third baseline and stole third, but was stranded there and popped up to third. Pressmack of the Beacons' 3 lefty slap hitters certainly has the most pop. Pair of inside the park home runs for her career. Also has a career high 3 doubles this season. Quickly 2-0 to the Houston, Texas native, who's not only a talented softball player, she fouls it off, and a exercise health science major, but also it's minoring in theater arts, and just auditioned for a show at one of the professional theaters in Boston. Two and one now to Pressmack, the Beacons' left fielder, and 6-hole hitter. Shows bunt, pops it up, foul, back to the stop. 2-2 now. Her sister was here for game number 1. I think she might still be sticking around for game 2. We got a chance to announce her on the PA address. Her sister has come to several Florida trips with the Beacons in previous years, but this is the first time she's been able to make it to Boston for a home contest. The 2-2 misses down low, 3-2. Pressmack does not have a ton of walks this year. Mentioned in game 1, just the 1 walk. 9 career walks in 104, now 105 games. Three-two from Harvey. Hit up the middle. That's going to beat the shift. Hit right up the middle, and Pressmack will have to hold up. There was no one really in center field with that awkward defensive slap hitter shift where the left fielder moves into a deep shortstop position. The shortstop moves up, the third baseman moves up, the center fielder moves to left center, and the right fielder moves to right center. So no chance to make a catch on a ball that was dipping fast anyway. Beacons have had base runners a lot today. They left 7 on in game 1. Have already left 9 runners on through 8 innings. The issue is getting those runs in. The Beacons do not have an extra base hit on the day, as that was hit number 10 of the day, but all have been singles for a Beacons team that had been coming alive a little bit with the extra base hits. Showing bunt and getting it down is DeCenso, a good bunt. Fish's plays to first. Pressmack's going to take off for third. The throw is there, and tagging. Oh, no, not in time. The catcher covered third, and Pressmack got in under the tag. That could have been a double play, but Pressmack, that elite speed, able to get under the tag of Jamie Boyle on a really good throw. Right now there's a conversation going on between Paul Dion, who moved over to third base to cover that, and Castleton coach Eric Ramey over by the Castleton dugout. Ramey was clearly upset. He thought that Pressmack was out, and then Dion wasn't happy with whatever Ramey said as he pointed over at Ramey, and some hand motions were gestured both ways. So the Beacons catch a break potentially, because it certainly looked as if the throw beat Pressmack. But how often does a catcher have to get the tank down at third base? Give DeCenso credit for her first sacrifice bunt of the season. And with one out, Giovanna Bonila steps up. Beacons were looking to have more opportunities for some of their non-slap hitters to drive in runs, because situation like this, a ball hits the outfield, scores Pressmack, but instead Bonilla, who moves from the second spot to the 8th spot, comes up with a runner on third and one out. Slap hitters can certainly drive in runners. It's just a little bit tougher because you're putting the ball on the ground. It's easier, though, with Pressmack at third, elite speed. Even if the ball is caught by a Castleton player, they throw the ball to first. Pressmack might be able to delay her run down the third base line until the ball is released and still beat a throw from first base. We just saw it. She took 2 bases on that sac bunt. 0-1 showing bunt, doesn't get it, and the ball gets away from the catcher, and that's going to be a wild pitch. Actually, we're going to go with the pass ball on that one, as it allows Pressmack to score, and the Beacons lead at 1-0. Count should be 0-2, as Bonilla certainly offered. Oh, 2 to Bonilla, who didn't get the bunt down, but the ball getting past Boyle on the pass ball, allowing Pressmack to score. And there are Beacons lead at 1-0 with no one on, an 0-2 count and one out to Giovanna Bonila. The 0-2 from Harvey, hit past the pitcher. Van Gordon makes a diving stop, but no chance to get the speedy Bonilla. And the Beacons now have their second hit of the inning as Bonilla able to beat out her 46th hit of the season. And at least half of those, if not more, have been infield singles. Bonilla reached twice in game one with a pair of walks. Was stranded at second in the first and first in the 7th. So it brings up Kelly Danahy. Danahy singled her first time up, popped up foul to the catcher, and flew out to left. Takes the first pitch on the inside half, 0-1. Danahy, a first-team all-conference player at second base as a freshman. Their 1-for-3 game. She's now 25 of 99 on the season. Shows bunt, puts it down, but it'll go foul. Beacons trying to use their speed here, especially with Ari Bellotta in the leadoff spot. You go from having Gigi Braga, who's a good hitter but not a good power hitter, to having Bellotta, who's typically your cleanup hitter who has tremendous power. So in this situation, you're even more eager to get runners on, not to test the defense, but to potentially give Bellotta a chance to drive in some runs. Bellotta came in with 19 RBI in just 23 appearances this season. Takes a pitch wide, 1-2. Danahy out of Kingston, Mass. Won 4 Patriot League titles at Silver Lake Regional High School. Powerhouse on the South Shore. Made it to the state finals as a sophomore and won the South Sectional finals as a junior and senior. 1-2 to Danahy. That's a little bit low, 2-2. Remember, we talked about Harvey not being a player who's going to throw a ton of innings. Already, Castleton has a pitcher warming up in the pen. They do have 4 pitchers who pitch, all of them freshmen. 2-2 with Bonilla at first base after the infield single and one out. 2-2 to Danahy. He takes it off the corner to throw down to second, not in time. And Giovanna Bonila has herself a stolen base. That's steal number 10 on 10 attempts. She ties Danahy for the second on the team with her 10 stolen bases. The Beacons have 3 of the top 10 players in the conference with stolen bases, and that doesn't include Pressmack, who has been limited a little bit with some injuries in terms of stealing bases, but she is tremendously fast as well. Runner at second now with just the one out, 1 run already in. 3-2, that's high. Danahy works her way back. It was 0-2, works the walk. The second Harvey is allowed, and it's Bellotta coming to the plate with 2 on and just the 1 out. But first we'll get a meeting in the circle, and I think Eric Ramey's going to go to his bullpen already as Harvey all of a sudden is allowed single sac bunt, single walk. And in an inning and a third, she's given up 3 singles and 2 walks, 5 base runners versus just 4 outs. We'll see if the Spartans do elect to make the change. No signal yet. It could be Arjevich, or the fourth option, who we haven't talked about yet, is Olivia Bowen. We'll see which of the pitchers coming out. It's going to be Olivia Bowen. So we'll get you the numbers on Olivia Bowen in a moment, as yet another freshman will toe the circle for the Spartans. The new pitcher for Castleton is Olivia Bowen. First time we've seen Bowen today. Freshman out of Fairhaven, Vermont.
Now pitching for the
5'5", was a Marble Valley League B Division first team player as a junior. Lost in the state championship game as a senior, where she was the starting pitcher. Making her 13th appearance. This is just her fourth time out of the bullpen. 2-7, one complete game, 36 innings pitched, which is second on the team. 4.67 ERA, also second on the team. 17 strikeouts, tied for second. 14 walks, 46 hits, 32 runs, 24 earned, has allowed 3 home runs. She's appearing in just her 6th conference game, which is fewest on the staff, but she has started 4 of those games, which is second behind Wright. 1-3 in conference play with a team worst 9.8 ERA. 10 innings pitched, which is tied for last with Harvey coming in. 4 strikeouts to 9 walks, 16 hits, 17 runs, 14 earned. In her last start, it was Game 2 against APAF earlier on last week. She started, went 5 innings, allowed 6 hits, 1 run, 0 earned, 4 strikeouts and no walks in a mercy rule victory. So the line on Harvey thus far, 1 1/3 innings, 3 hits, 2 walks, no strikeouts, 1 run, 1 earned, but she could be charged with as many as 3. Bonila and Danahy out there on the base pass. Both would be charged to her, as Ari Bellotta, the Beacon's leadoff hitter in this game, steps up for the second time in 2 innings. Bounces up there, and a nice job by Boyle to keep it in front. Bellotta, her first time up, flew out to shallow right field. A nice diving effort from Jana Ryan. Bellotta, one of the Beacon's best run producers, hits it hard, but right at Bowen, who will go to third the short way, bounces over to Fish. Bonilla stopped because she thought that Bowen was going to make the play. Bowen had tons of time, was thinking 1, then recognized she had a chance to the lead runner, and that'll go down as a fielder's choice. So Bonilla is retired. Danahy up to second, Bellotta to first with 2 outs, and here comes the Castleton adjustment. Fish backs up behind third. Van Gordon is way in at short. The left fielder, Fack, is at the edge of the outfield grass behind the shortstop spot. Actually, that's now the center fielder, as they made a slight adjustment. Fack stays out in left, and center Devin Millerick is behind where the shortstop would be, and the right fielder is in right center. So it's quickly 1-1 to Braga, who worked a walk and was stranded at third base in the first inning. The Beacons have already left 2 on here in Game 1, have left 9 on for the day, looking to add to their lead, which is 1-0. Braga takes it on the outside half, 1-2 to the Medford, Mass native, who has 2 hits on the day. One and two as Bowen looks for her second consecutive out. 1-2. That is off the corner, 2-2. Big spot right now for both of these teams. Bowen tries to get the Spartans out of trouble, and Braga tries to keep this inning alive for Vento, who after an 0-for-4 Game 1, singled in the first inning. Vento, the most prolific hitter in program history, especially when it comes to driving in runs. 3-2 to Braga, who leads the Beacons in walks this season. 3-2 offering. Probably swung at a pitch out of the zone, but just trying to protect there with 2 strikes, and fouls it off. It'll stay at 3-2. A couple of the Beacons baseball players who were supposed to play a game today, but it got postponed, are watching on the third base side as they still wait to get their first game of the weekend after already 3 postponements and a cancellation. 3-2, bounces up there. The bases are full of Beacons. for Roxanne Vento, and that's a situation you're really happy with if you're the Beacons. Braga has already walked twice in this contest. Danahy at third, Bonila at second, Braga at first. Braga, the Beacons' fastest base runner, the three. Bolina's fast. Danahy's maybe a little faster. Very quick group out there on the base pass for Vento. 193 hits for her career, as that one is off the corner. 4 shy of Sue Killaley's mark. Figures she's got 4+ games left in the regular season, including the rest of this one, plus the postseason, so it's more of a matter of when, not if. 1-0 to Vento. The bases loaded and 2 down. Hits it hard out to right center. Millerick is on the warning track, and she makes the play. Third time that Vento has hit it hard, but Millerick's been able to track it down. Beacons leave the bases loaded in the second as Bowen is able to keep the damage to 1. Head to the third. UMass Boston still in another dogfight with the Spartans. So after the Beacons got 1 run in the second, but left the bases loaded on a ball that was rocketed out to right center, but just to the warning track as Millerick chased it down. Vento, who has 4 career grand slams, which is 1 shy of the Division III record coming into the season. Just missed her 5th, as that's the first base runner to reach against Hayley Catania. They rule that's a hit by pitch, as Arjevich took it off a bounce, and that's, well, the kind of hit by pitch you want to take. How hard can it really hurt? I mean, it's not going to feel good, but when you're taking off a bounce, it doesn't hurt quite as much. Jana Ryan, who did not hit in Game 1, was the flex position player with Kylie Wright hitting for herself, will get her first at bat of the day. Shows bunt and bunts it foul, so she'll have to head back into the batter's box. Let's give you a little bit more info on Ryan, who we did not talk about much. Jana out of Rockville, Rhode Island. 5'6", attended Chorijo Regional, making her 31st appearance and 28th start, hitting .250, 6 of 24 with 5 runs scored and 3 RBI. Shows bunt, pulls it back. That was low, 1-1. Ryan has 5 runs, 3 RBI, 7 strikeouts, and no walks. 21 of her 24 at-bats coming in to today's game have come in April. She's 5 of 21. Remember, this team does not bunt frequently, just 15 times. Ryan does not have a sack bunt on the season. Shows bunt and bunts it foul once again. So 0-2. They try to get Arjevich into scoring position with 1 out. Ryan 0 for her last 4. She started in Game 2 in the lineup as that ball is bunted foul once again. That's going to go down as a strikeout swinging there for Ryan, who's the 3rd strikeout victim She wasn't able to put down the bunt on any of her 3 attempts.
Batting the left fielder, Kayla Fack.
Brings up Kayla Fack, the left fielder who has been busy out there in left. Fack in game 1 flew out to right center, was retired on a fielder's choice, and had an RBI 2-out single to right center that made it 3-1 in the 7th. Big time insurance run as the Beacons put 2 on with 2 outs, but unable to get a single run, much less 2. 1-0 to Fack. Hits it softly over to Bellotta. Looks at second. She'll go there. Underhand to Danahy. As Arjevic does not run all that well, and it'll go down as a fielder's choice. 5-4. And Arjevic is retired. So Fack's aboard with 2 outs for Kate LePan. Kate has yet to get a hit today. She did reach on an error. 0 for 5. Has grounded out to the third baseman 3 times and hit the ball to the shortstop twice. Nice one over the head and fair over the head of DeCenso. That'll send Fack all the way to third, and the throw home on a line from Paulina. So 2 on with 2 outs now for Callie Van Gordon after LePan gets the first hit of the day for the Spartans. After Catania hit the first batter of the inning, which was the first base runner for Castleton. We've seen a lot of those today for both teams. The ball that's not hit all that hard, but just hit over the infield, way too far in for the outfield to get there. Good base running from Kayla Fack to get over to third base as Van Gordon pops it up right to the second baseman, Danahy, and Castleton leaves 2 on in the third. It's 1-0 UMass Boston through 2.5. Bottom of the third inning as it continues to get cooler and cooler. It was 65 to start today's doubleheader. But I'd say we've already dropped at least 10 degrees, if not closer to 15, with the sun going down and the wind picking up right off the harbor. It'll be 4, 5, 6 for the Beacons. Paulina, Tully, and Pressmack. Taylor Paulina in her first at bat. Grounded out to second and moved 2 runners up. She shows bunt, puts it down the first base side. The first baseman picks it up, throws, and the second baseman covers. Nice defensive play there by Swain, who has come in to play first base. Brings up Alyssa Tully, who hit the ball harder first time with 2 on and 2 outs, but she lined it over to the left fielder, Fack, who easily made the play. This Castleton outfield defense has been very good today. Seen Millerick make some nice plays, and Fack has been busy as well. Jana Ryan even made a nice diving catch to start the bottom of the first. 1-0 to Tully, who did not play in game number 1. Hits it over to the left side. Van Gordon is there. It's a long throw, but she's got a great arm. The throw is not in time. It's going to be an infield single for Tully, who stands 8 hits shy. Now the ball's thrown away. Tully's taking off for second, thinking about third, and she has to head back to second. That ball was thrown away by the first baseman. And it's going to be a hit and an error. The Beacons. Kira Pressmack, who singled up the middle and scored in the second on a pass. Ball steps up. Pressmack has 2 hits, a stolen base, and a run scored on the day. Had the game-winning walk-off single a year ago against Castleton, the first ever meeting between the two schools. 1-0, make it 2-0, a little bit low. Tully takes advantage of what's the first error on the day for Castleton. The Beacons committed 2 errors in game 1, 2 of the better defensive teams in the Little East Conference, both coming in with identical .958 fielding percentages. 2-0 to Pressmack, who hits it softly over to Fish, who will look at Tully. Tully's stuck in the middle of a rundown. Tully's now going to head for third, allowing Pressmack to move up, and making the tag is Fish. Rather, that is Kate LePan. So it's a fielder's choice. Pressmack takes second, and then Tully is out 5-4. So the Beacons trade places, but instead of a run scored, you get an out. Brings Tori DeCenso to the plate. Beacon sophomore out of Lynn, Mass. Put down a sac bunt, her first time up. Swinging here, and she fouls it off. It's a difficult play there for Tully. She stayed a little bit close to the second base bag. I think she could have drawn the throw. Pressmack would have made it close, and then maybe she would have been able to take third anyways. Instead, the Beacons have a runner at second with 2 outs as DeCenso swings through their eyes, ball 0-2. Bowen has pitched well since coming on. She's gotten a fielder's choice, a walk, a fly out, and then has allowed single hit here in the third inning. Senso stays alive. Bowen and all of these Spartans pitchers continuing to try to pitch the Beacons outside. Giovanna Bonila awaits on deck. Bonila singled her first time up, stole second before being erased on a fielder's choice. Still 0-2 to the Beacons' 7-hole hitter. 0-2 pitch, a rise ball that was going to be out of the zone, but she fouls it off. Senso right now just trying to protect. Out there at second base is Pressmack, who reached on a fielder's choice and then moved up to second when Tully was able to extend the run down to make sure that Pressmack would be able to get up there. Tremendous speed out there at second base. Breaking ball as Pressmack had a huge lead off second base. I've already seen Kira steal third when Jamie Boyle decided to throw to the pitcher before looking Pressmack back. Pressmack has scored the lone run in this contest thus far as we're already in the bottom of the third of game 2. 0-2, another big swing. DeCenso doesn't get any piece of that. The first strikeout for Bowen. And it stays 1-0 through 3 innings. 1-1 to the leadoff hitter here in the fourth. Make it 2-1 now to Miranda Fish, the 3-hole hitter, who grounded out over to the first baseman to end the first. Takes a pitch that was probably a little bit higher than Fish would have liked, as she's not all that tall. 2-2 now. Fish in game one grounded out to short, grounded out to third, and flew out to right in her 3 plate appearances. 0 for 4 on the day. This should be her first hit out to center, but Bonila covers so much ground. That ball stayed up a little bit longer than I anticipated. And Catania gets a fly out to center. She has only allowed 1 leadoff base runner. Came in the 3rd inning on a hit by pitch. First pitch to Swain, hit out to shallow right. Paulina comes in and makes the running effort for 2 outs on 2 pitches, at least back-to-back pitches. Swain continues to struggle today.
Now batting the center fielder, Devin Millerick.
As the cleanup hitter is 0 for 5 with 2 strikeouts, 2 flyouts, and a ground out to third. Devin Millerick, who struck out looking her first time up, puts down a bunt, but it goes foul. Millerick had a hit in her first at-bat of the day. Single over the head of the second baseman and scored in game one, but since then has gone 0 for 3. Millerick 16 of 17 in stolen bases. She came in tied for first in the conference with Gigi Braga, and she's been on an absolute tear with 7 stolen bases in the month of April, as that one is just a little low, 1-1. It has gotten so much cooler here. This looks like it might be the one nice doubleheader this season for those people who have had a child go through the program or have worked here for long enough. The UMB softball field, even on a nice day, tends to be quite a bit cooler than the rest of campus, and today is no exception as the ball is ripped foul by Millerick 2-2. Today was one of those days that seemed like it would be nice. And it certainly started off nice, but it has cooled down in a big way. Stevie Bryant, our camera operator, is wearing a coat and shorts. Not quite sure how the Washington native is going to be feeling by the end of this one. 2-2 pitch, hit out to left, coming in on his Pressmack and making the running catch, I believe. No, it'll get past Pressmack. Throw to second, it's going to be close, but it bounces past Danahy, and now covering behind is Paulina. That's going to go for a double. It was tough to see between the catcher, the home plate umpire, and then Braga, who was in front of Pressmack. I thought Braga almost made the play. Instead, it's just in front of Pressmack, took a bounce, and it will be a double for Millerick. Second extra base hit of the day for either team, both of them for the Spartans. And Millerick, who has tremendous speed, is out there at second base for Jamie Boyle, who struck out looking. Her first at bat is swings through the fastball 0-1. Couldn't quite catch up to it. Boyle in game one had a pair of singles, scored the game-winning run. 2 for 4 on the day after she had a home run. The team's last game hits it hard. Bonilla will charge. Bonilla will throw it home. It's going to be close. The tag is there. What a throw from Bonilla. And the Vikings keep it at 1-0. The very speedy Millerick was going home the entire way, but Bonilla was able to get it in quickly, and Vento had a ton of time to position herself and apply the tag and keep the Spartans off the scoreboard. Castleton goes to their third pitcher in 4 innings already. As pitching for the Spartans here in the 4th will be the Game 1 starter. First pitch to Bonila, who just made that great throw to home plate to retire Millerick. It's Kylie Wright who got the win in game number 1. Bonilla fouls it off. For Emily Harvey, she went an inning and 2/3, was able to keep the Beacons from scoring any further runs in the 2nd or the 3rd. Allowed 2 walks, 1 strikeout, and 1 hit. Did not allow a run. Bonilla just fighting off some pitches here against Wright, who had a tremendous game 1. She is the ace of this staff, the top freshman amongst the 4. Wright in that first contest, 7 innings, 8 hits, 1 earned run, 5 strikeouts to 2 walks. Bonilla hits it foul past Fish over there at third base. Bonilla walked twice in game 1. Finished 0 for 2 with the 2 walks. In this game, she was at the plate when the Beacons scored their only run, as there was a pass ball and an attempted bunt that Bonilla missed that allowed Pressmack to score, and then she singled on the next pitch. Takes a rise ball high, 1-2. Bonilla with such a big defensive play to end that last half inning. It helped that Boyle absolutely ripped the pitch up the middle, but Bonilla came up charging, and a solid, strong throw to the plate gave Vento tons of time to make the tag. Hit up past the shortstop, Van Gordon, and Bonilla has a pair of hits out of the 8-hole. So Bonilla, who has 10 stolen bases on the year, is aboard. And I wonder if the Beacons potentially bunt here with Danahy.
Now batting the second baseman, Kelly Danahy.
Danahy did walk in her only trip up of this game, but it was against a different pitcher as Danahy takes the first pitch high. Danahy in game 1 against Wright singled to the third baseman, fouled out to the catcher, and flew out to left. Still sitting on 99 at bats on the season, 25 of 99. Hits it over to the second baseman. LePan will go to second man. Gordon will try to make the double play, but not going to beat the speedy Danahy. He reaches on a fielder's choice. And now exactly 25 for 100. Nice play by LePan and Van Gordon. A really nice double play combo there for the Spartans, who have a very strong defense. Brings up Ari Bellotta, who has flown out to right, hit a hard grounder to the shortstop, where they got the lead runner on a fielder's choice, as she swings at a pitch that was pretty much already on the dirt. Not a great look from Bellotta, who typically has such a great eye. 0-1 to Bellotta, who came in on the day hitting .435 with a 11 runs scored and 19 RBI. Hits this one softly over to the first baseman. Swain tags the bag, but will have no play at second. And Danahy's at second base with 1 out. So Danahy's out there at second base for Gigi Braga, who has walked twice today and singled twice. Has been a difficult out for the Spartans. Braga takes the first pitch on the inside half, right at the number, 0-1. Braga last year hit .475 in conference play. Not quite there this season, but still hitting very well in conference action as she swings and misses. It's one of the few times you'll ever see Braga take a full swing, and I think it surprised her teammates a little bit as she swung and missed. 0-2. See what she can do here against Wright, who she singled off of twice and struck out once in game 1. 0-2 with the runner at second and 2 outs. Hits it over to Van Gordon. Past Van Gordon. Danahy had to hold up, so it's runners at the corners as Braga is trying to draw a throw over at first base. And Vento, who is 1 for 2 with a single and a fly out to the warning track in right center with the bases loaded, gets another chance with runners on. Vento in game 1 left 2 runners aboard in the bottom of the 7th with 2 outs. It's already left 3 more here with the bases loaded in the second on a ball that was absolutely scalded, but just didn't quite have enough to get over the wall as Devin Miller covers a ton of ground out there in center. Runners at the corners, a chance to double, maybe even do more damage to the Beacons' lead as the first pitch is a rise ball high. Danahy over at third, reached on a fielder's choice. Braga at first, reached on a single. We'll see if the Beacons try to put Braga in motion to draw a throw. Does have tremendous speed, and she's one of those pesky players who knows enough to get into a rundown to try to let the run score as Vento fouls it off. Then again, you don't want to take the bat out of Vento's hands with 2 outs. 1-1 to Vento, who did not have a hit in 4 at-bats against Wright in game 1. So Wright threw everything away. Castleton will call a timeout as Eric Ramey wants to meet with his infield, and we'll take a brief audio break. Beacons are out of their huddle, but Eric Ramey and the infield for Castleton continuing to talk. Actually, Ramey's headed back to the dugout. It's just the entire infield around Kylie Wright, who finds herself in a tough spot. She's allowed 2 hits in the inning, and right now there are runners at the corners with 2 outs. 1-1 count to Roxanne Vento. The 1-1, Vento fouls it back, was right on the inside pitch. 1-2 now. 127 RBI in 161 career games. Kelly Danahy's at third base, reached on a fielder's choice. Gigi Braga, a 2-out single. 1-2, that's high. Braga takes off for second and picks up her league-leading 17th stolen base of the season. So now a single should likely score 2. Although you never know, Millerick is arguably just as fast as Braga. I haven't seen them go head-to-head, but both had 16 stolen bases, and Millerick was thrown out trying to score from second on a single in the last half inning. 2-2, popped up. It'll get out of play. Vento and Wright have had quite a few battles, and Vento did not win one of the battles in game 1. Chance to redeem herself right here. She is 1 for 6 on the day. He's hit the ball loudly a couple times, but it's been right at an outfielder where they've been able to track it down. 2-2, breaking ball, holds off. Fack going back into foul territory. Can't make the play. A diving effort from Fack in foul territory, but couldn't get there. And Vento has another chance. So the count should stay at 2-2. That was a tough play for Fack, who was battling the wind. Couldn't quite get there. Sun is coming out a little bit, but we're not getting any piece of it behind home plate. Players are probably warming up a little bit, at least the Castleton fielders. 2-2, Vento hits it softly. Right will fielder position, picks, throws, and the Beacons leave 2 more. They've left 7, make it 8 runners through 4 innings, and they hold on to a 1-0 lead.
The first baseman, Michaela Arjevich.
Michaela Arjevich will lead off the top of the 5th inning. It's a 1-0 game. These two teams have struggled for runs. In game 1, it was 1-1 going to the 7th. Castleton scored 2 runs at the top of the 7th to earn a 3-1 win. It's 1-0 here as Arjevich, who has been on fire today. 3 for 3 in game 1 with 2 singles and a double. Hit by pitch and a single here in game 2, has not been retired. See if they do go with the pinch runner. They did in game 1, and I think that they will here in game 2, especially in the 5th. That's a huge potential game-tying run. It's going to be McKenna Thorne again, who was the pinch runner in game 1. So McKenna Thorne,
Pinch running, number 10, McKenna Thorne.
who was retired on a fielder's choice in game 1 as a pinch runner, will step out there at first base for Gina Ryan, who tried to put down a bunt her last time up and bunted it foul 3 times for a strikeout. We'll see if they ask Ryan to bunt again here. First pitch from Catania, showing bunt, popping it up, and Vento couldn't quite get there. Now, if I had a glove and there wasn't a chain link fence in front of me, I might have made that catch. But a little bit too far from Vento as that ball got down quickly. So Ryan has been asked to bunt in 2 at-bats and has bunted it foul 4 times. Let's see if they keep the bunt on or if they maybe call for the slash, trying to catch the Beacons overly aggressive on the bunt defense. Shows bunt, and it once again will go foul. Remember, Ryan, a flex player in game 1 out in right field, and she has some words with the first base coach. We'll see if they ask her to bunt here with 2 strikes. They did it the last time up. See what the call is, and now she's going to come from the left side. And yeah, we're going to see a switch hitter. You do not see that very frequently, if at all, in softball. And see if the bunt is still on with Ryan, who's essentially now a lefty slapper. So she won't be quite bunting, but it'll look like a bunt as she fouls it down. That looked like a pretty good swing from the left side. So I don't know if Ryan, let's look at the program. Ryan is traditionally a left-handed hitter, but bunts righty, because she looked more comfortable, and she is listed as a left-handed batter. So she is a bunter from the right side when she's trying to put down a sac bunt, but a lefty hitter. Something I don't think I've ever seen before. 0-2 to her, fouled back. And again, Ryan looks a lot more comfortable as a lefty slapper, which makes sense. Jana last year at UMass Boston went 0 for 3 as she's one of just the 6 returners on this team that has 16 players, 10 of which are freshmen. 0-2, takes it high, runner takes off the throw, it's a good one, and Vento able to gun down the runner at second base, McKenna Thorne for a big first out. So the Beacons got a huge last out in the 4th inning on the 8-2 put out at home plate to get Millerick trying to score the game-tying run, and now with a leadoff base runner and the pinch runner in the game for Arjevich, she's thrown out, so there's 1 out and a 1-2 count. Swung on and missed, and Catania quickly has 2 outs in the 5th. What a big turning point that is. Castleton could have had a runner at second base with just the 1 out, and that's assuming the Beacons fielded the bunt cleanly from Ryan. Instead, Catania picks up her 4th strikeout. And it's Kayla Fack, the 9-0 hitter, coming up with no one on and 2 outs. Fack reached on a fielder's choice, 5-4. Her first time up, moved over to third base but was stranded there. The 1-0 to Fack is hit hard past the second baseman. This could be a play at first. Paulina picks but doesn't get there in time. Fack's pretty speedy. Paulina is one of those right fielders who loves to get to balls quickly and try to throw runners out. If Fack wasn't as fast as she was, that could have been a bang-bang play.
Now batting the second baseman, Katie LePan.
So Fack, who did not have a conference hit coming into the day, had an RBI single in the 7th to make it 3-1, and is now 2 for 5 on the day. Kate LePan is 1 for 2 in this one. Grounded out to the shortstop and singled down the right field line to push Kayla Fack all the way to third base in the 3rd inning with 2 outs. 2-0 here to LePan with Callie Van Gordon in the on-deck circle. Beacons looking for their 10th win here at home in 14 games. Castleton looking for their 6th win in 14 road games as Danahy fields, throws across, and the Spartans leave a runner on in the 5th. We head to the bottom of the 5th. See if UMass Boston can just scratch across a couple of insurance runs. Otherwise, this game is going to be very exciting going down to the wire. Quickly take a look around the rest of the conference. One other final, Plymouth State beat Emerson College in game number 1 in that doubleheader between a team from Boston and a team from New Hampshire. And Rhode Island College at Western Con postponed. We'll see when those two teams play. Already, Western Connecticut State has games scheduled for Saturday and Sunday. Sunday's supposed to be the last day of the doubleheader, or last day of the regular season, as Taylor Paulina takes it over Callie Van Gordon on 2 hops, throws it across, and Paulina is retired 6-3 to start the bottom of the 5th. As Paulina is 0 for 3 here in game number 2. Could be waiting till late Sunday, even Monday, to find out the 6 teams that make it to the LAC tournament. We might not even know who will host that tournament till Sunday or Monday, as there are 3 teams still in contention. Listen, Tully takes the first pitch she sees, pops it off the end of the bat, foul. Tully, the designated player, lined out to left to end the first. Singled, took second on an error by the first baseman, was erased on a fielder's choice in the 3rd. Beacons have at least 1 hit in every inning, 6 total, they have left 8 runners through 4 innings. Tully rifles one that nearly takes out Josh Bartley, the Beacons' third base coach, and it's 0-2. So Tully has fouled one down the right field side, one down the left field side. Let's see if she can straighten it out, as the sun has become a big factor right now. Everybody looking out towards left field, which is more of an issue if you're the first baseman trying to catch the ball, is looking right into the sun. 0-2 to Tully. Drops it softly down the third baseman. Fish, who will field, throw, and making the play is Swain. Talked about the sun. Well, she made it look easy. So 2 quick ground outs to start the 5th, and it'll bring up Kira Pressmack. UMass Boston's offense has been anemic the last 3 games. Just 1 run in game number 1, 1 run here in game 2, and shut out the other night against Rick. So 2 runs across 19 innings. The scary part is they've been getting hits, but just 1 extra base hit, 2 rather. 1 from Tori DeCenso, 1 from Roxanne Vento, both on Friday against Rhode Island College in game 2. And haven't been able to get the big hits with runners on. 0-1 to Pressmack, who scored the lone run in this game. She singled in the second, took third on a sac bunt, just beating the throw, and then came in on a pass ball. She also reached on a fielder's choice on a ground ball to the shortstop in the 3rd inning. So 1 for 2 in this contest. Hits it out to left, but Fack is there in plenty of time, and the Beacons go 1-2-3 in the 5th for the first time in this contest. Head to the 6th inning, down to potentially the final 6 outs, but who knows which way this game will go. Two, three, 4 for the Spartans. A big inning for Hayley Catania and the Beacons. If you can get through the middle of the lineup here in the 6th inning, give yourself a chance to potentially make the 7th inning very easy. And Gordon, Fish, and Swain, 3 of the better hitters for the Spartans. First pitch is up high to Van Gordon, who has popped up to first and to second in her 2 at-bats. Van Gordon in game 1 also went 0 for 2, struck out looking, popped up foul to the first baseman, and put down a sac bunt. 1-0, hit out to right center. This is going to be at least 1, if not extra bases. Van Gordon's on her horse. She's going to head to second. She's going to head to third. The throw into Danahy. It's going to be a leadoff triple, and the Spartans have the game-tying run just 60 feet away. It's the issue with a 1-0 lead. You can hit as well as you want and put runners on. If you don't drive them in, you leave the game open, and just like that, although Van Gordon looks like she slid in awkwardly to third base, and she's being attended to by the Castleton trainer who made the trip. So that could be potentially really bad news, as Van Gordon, the junior, is one of the team's top players. Van Gordon, who went in awkwardly, it looked like it was maybe just jammed the knee a little bit, will stay in the game. Callie, a junior out of Stillwater, New Jersey. Brings up Miranda Fish, the team's leading player in terms of RBI with 25. She's grounded out to the first baseman and flown out to center. Be interesting to see if Castleton tries to challenge the Beacons outfield, especially with Van Gordon potentially a little banged up. No outs here, so no reason to potentially send the runner unless you're sure that they would score. Beacons have a really good arm in right, pretty good arms in center and left. I've already seen UMass Boston throw out one runner at the plate as that pitch is high and inside. Quickly 2-0 to Fish, who leads the team in batting average, on base percentage, slugging percentage, hits, runs, and RBI. 2-0, misses low, 3-0. The biggest thing here, if you're Catania, is as bad as it is to give up the tying run, you cannot allow this to become a crooked number. Give the Spartans a chance to get a big inning here. 3-0. Already a runner at third base and no outs. 3-0 pitch. That's in there, 3-1. We can't see the Beacons bullpen, but I wonder if Jess Greenspan potentially would warm up in this situation just to give Beacons an option if Catania does begin to struggle. 3-1 is a little bit high. Paul Dion pointed, but he pointed to first base. First walk that Catania has allowed, and all of a sudden the go-ahead run is at first base for Tori Swain, who, again, the most powerful hitter in the lineup, does not have a hit today, but that could change with one swing of the bat. Swain had a big doubleheader last season against UMass Boston. 5 for 6 with a run scored, 6 RBI, including a 3-run homer. Taking off and staying at first base is Fish, just trying to draw the eye of Vento. Runners at the corners and no outs, a triple and a walk. Castleton took game 1 3-1 with 2 runs in the 7th, despite the fact that the Beacons were constantly threatening throughout the contest. Hit out to shallow left over the head of Braga. Coming in easily is Van Gordon, and the throw to second not in time. So 3 straight runners reach. It's a 1-1 game as Swain comes through with a RBI single, and the tying run is already in. The go-ahead run is at second, and I think we're going to see a pinch runner for Tori Swain over at first base. This is the issue when you let teams stick around, and the Beacons have done just that. UMass Boston in this contest have left 8 runners on through 5 innings. Threatened in the first, second, third, and fourth, and Castleton, who was the team a little bit more desperate in terms of needing victories, is looking for the doubleheader sweep. So they will send a pinch runner over to first base. It'll be Michaela Madigan, the senior out of Johnsonville, New York, making her first appearance of the day. This is her 21st appearance, but 13th off the bench. 3 runs scored. Does not have a stolen base. Just 3 for 31, so not a big-time hitter. Showing bunt, but unable to get it down fair, is Devin Millerick, who has tremendous speed. Millerick doubled her last time up with 2 outs to left field on a ball that just got past the glove of Braga and Pressmack and was thrown out on trying to score from second on a single from Jamie Boyle. Oh, 0-1 to Millerick with 2 on and no outs. Ball bunted foul again. Castleton came in with just 15 sack bunts on the season. They have attempted bunts on 3 different at-bats, have not been able to get a bunt on any of them. And that could be a big difference maker if the Beacons were somehow able to get out of this jam. Castleton being unable to advance the runners, because if you can get runners at second and third with 1 out, there'll be a good chance of scoring. Ball is fouled off by Millerick, who is protecting there with 2 strikes. Catania does have 4 strikeouts. Big spot here for Hayley Catania and this Beacons team. Already lost 2 conference games in a row, down to game under 500. Cannot afford to fall 2 games under 500. It's 1-2. This Beacons team backed their way into the conference tournament last year as a 6 seed, did just enough, and then went 4-0 in the LSC tournament. But 2 tough games tomorrow at a Southern Maine team who's all of a sudden hot. You don't want to have to get some help those last games over the weekend. So that is outside. Looks pretty good from here, 2-2, as Millerick stays alive. Beacons, if you can win your 7th game in conference here and maybe 1 tomorrow, you should be cleanly in at 8-8. But anything less than that, the Beacons might have to sweat it out. 2-2 to Millerick. Rise ball 3-2. And while third base is open, you do not want to put the bases loaded with no outs in this situation. Catania pitched so well through 5 innings, but a leadoff triple, a walk, an RBI single that was fisted out to left, and all of a sudden the Spartans have gotten to the Beacons freshman of Amesbury. 3-2 hit over to the third baseman. Bellotta fields, takes it to third, throws it across. It's way off the line, but DeCenso makes a great heads-up play to come off the bag and keep it in front of her. That easily saved the runner at second base from moving up to third base, and that was a really nice play by DeCenso. Goes down as a fielder's choice. Fish is retired. 5 unassisted. It brings up Jamie Boyle, who was struck out looking and singled to center. That is a huge first out for the Beacons to get the lead runner. As great as a double play would have been there, just getting one is huge. First pitch to Boyle, hit softly over to Braga, who will take the contact as Braga, an acting job there, left her foot behind trying to draw contact with the lead runner. And Arnie Walker is going to give the Beacons the benefit of the doubt. Braga was trying to draw the contact, which you're allowed to do as the fielder, but that did not look like all that much contact, and we'll see if they keep the call. Eric Ramey was really upset by it. Braga did not draw a ton of contact. She made the right play, but it was a nice job by the runner at second base, Madigan, to avoid a ton of contact, because typically you see the runner just run through the shortstop. As Braga looks like she is in some pain there. So it will be another fielder's choice. That's going to go down as a 6 unassisted on the lead runner. So Madigan is retired. Millerick moves to second. Again, Millerick is tremendously fast, so anything to the outfield could be problematic. Boyle is at first base, and we'll see if Arjevich is back in. Eric Ramey is being told to head into the bench. I don't think they're ejecting him, but I think they are telling him he has to come off the base pass, as Arnie Walker is really upset by what was ever said. Michaela Arjevich steps to the plate. Arjevich has not been retired today. 3 singles, a double, and a hit by pitch. Arjevich a chance to give her team the lead. The freshman out of Meriden, Connecticut, came in hitting .222 on the season, 8 for 36, but she's 4 for 4 in this game, and now 12 for 40 on the season. So went from .222 to about .275-ish. And it's a big chance here for Arjevich to come through. She was part of that rally in the 7th when she had a double to put 2 runners in scoring position with 1 out. See how the Beacons elect to pitch to Arjevich, who's been very good here. So the Beacons had first and second, or Spartans had first and second with no outs. Now first and second with 2 outs. And Arjevich fouls off the first pitch. Even her foul balls are loud foul balls. Oh, and 1 to Arjevich is low. 1-1. Jana Ryan is on deck, has struck out swinging both of her bats. I think this is a situation where you make sure you don't give Arjevich anything too good to hit. You don't mind walking the bases loaded here if it keeps the Spartans from having a chance to get that run with Arjevich, who's been red hot. 2-1 as Catania misses low, back-to-back pitches. Tayyar Dagna calling out the instructions. Freshman versus freshman. 1-2 hit softly but foul. 2-2 now as Bellotta picks it up in foul territory. Spartans scored a run in the inning on an RBI single from Tori Swain, but they had 2 on with no outs, a chance to take the lead. Fit into back-to-back fielder's choices on the left side where the Beacons got the lead runner. 2-2, 2 outs to Arjevich, who hits it hard up the middle. Bonilla will field. Here comes Miller. Already been thrown out once. It's a good throw. The throw is not in time, though. And Arjevich comes through yet again, her 5th hit of the day. And it is 2-1 Spartans here in the top of the 6th. Beacons challenged her, and she came through. It's Millerick, the fastest runner on the Spartan scores. Boyle up to second. Arjevich at first. And I think Jana Ryan, who's 0 for 2 with 2 strikeouts, is going to be pinch hit for here. And stepping up is Cassidy Otis, number 23. Otis, the sophomore out of Springfield, Vermont, stands at 5'6". Otis, as a freshman, appeared in just 1 game, went 0 for 1 last year against Southern Vermont, making her 12th appearance, has 2 starts on the year, 5 for 14 with 3 runs and 3 RBI, including a double. Went 0 for 1 against Middlebury the other day. Takes the first pitch, and it's caught by Catania. The Beacons get out of it, but not before giving up the 2-out RBI single from Arjevich to give Castleton their first lead of the game at 2-1. Bottom of the 6th inning, UMass Boston trails for the first time. They'll have a pinch hitter to lead off the 6th. It's our Beacon spotlight. Drew Washington, we've talked about it, unable to pitch this year because of a shoulder injury, but the sophomore out of Bordentown, New Jersey, has still been a hitter and outfielder, and she comes on as a pinch hitter here, making her 12th appearance, 2 for 14 with 2 runs scored. Struck out 3 times. Against Salem State the other day, 1 for 3 with the run scored as she played in both games. One thing to note, sunset is 7:35. It's already 13 here on the 14 on the East Coast, so about 21 minutes. The Beacons were to tie this game and not take the lead. This game could go right to sunset, and with Castleton a 3.5, 4-hour drive, these teams have to finish this doubleheader today as the first pitch is on the outside corner. Now, I don't think you can leave a game a tie in conference play just because there's so many different tiebreakers, but would mean that Castleton might have to make a long drive as the ball is chapped over to the second baseman. LePam picks, throws, and Washington is retired. She came on as a pinch hitter for DeCenso in the 7th spot. Brings up Giovanna Bonila, who is 2 for 2 with a stolen base, a pair of singles past the shortstop in her 2 at-bats, and the Beacons need base runners right now. They have
Now batting the center fielder, Giovanna Bonila.
put up 6 hits in this game, but have been unable to capitalize. No extra base hits on the day. That's been a big problem for a Beacons team that had 8 hits in game 1, but just 1 run scored. And now 6 hits here in game 2. And Wright, the team's ace on in relief. Not going to be easy to score against her. The ball's hit hard past the third baseman, and Bonila has a single. Nice job by Fack to get over there quickly, but Bonila 3 for 3 out of the 8 hole. And the Beacons, they broke up their slap hitters for a reason. And Bonila has benefited in a big way. All 3 of the slap hitters have been good in this game. Braga has walked twice and singled. Pressmax 1 for 3 has reached twice, and Bonilla is 3 for 3. So maybe there was something to breaking up this lineup, especially against the aggressive shift. As Kelly Danahy steps up. Danahy takes the first pitch on the inside half, 0-1. Danahy has walked and reached on a fielder's choice. Stranded at third base. Back in the 4th. 0-1 to Danahy. Takes it high, and it gets away from the catcher on the wild pitch. Pitch was up and over Boyle. And Bonilla, the tying run, is out to second. So that's big with the speed of Bonilla as Tori Swain smartly asked for a pair of sunglasses. Can't imagine it's easy looking into the sun that is dipping over Boston proper right now for her to be able to see through the sunlight as Danahy takes it low, and it's 2-1. 2-1, 1 out. Tying run at second base as the Beacons look to score for the first time since the second. Ari Balata awaits on deck. 2-1 to Danahy. He takes it low, 3-1. Beacons looking to fight back after giving up 2 runs in the top of the 6th inning. The right fielder, Jana Ryan, is very deep in right field. Takes it low, and Danahy works the walk, her second of the contest. And the Beacons now have the go-ahead run at first base for Ari Balata. So after going 1, 2, 3 in the 5th, the Beacons have put 2 on with 1 out, but can they get that all-important hit? The Beacons do not have an RBI hit in either game. A sac fly in game 1, a run scored, and a pass ball here in game 2. All right, Balata takes the first pitch, hits out to right. Ryan is there tagging from second, and taking off for third is Bonilla. And Fish is able to range to her right and make the play. So the Beacons will have runners at the corners now with 2 outs. As Bonilla, nice job of moving up on the play. Balata now 0 for 4 out of the leadoff spot, a position she's hit in the past but has not hit today. And just as they've done all day long, Castleton, who's had to face base runners on in big spots a lot today, will huddle up to make sure their defense is ready for this situation. 2 on with 2 outs for Gigi Braga. Gigi Braga, a perfect 1-for-1 with a pair of walks, a single, and a stolen base, steps up. Big spot for the Beacons' 2-all hitter and shortstop. First pitch to her, shows bunt, pulls it back, taking off for second, and in there in time is Danahy. Picks up her first stolen base of the game, and that's her 11th on the season. So the Beacons wisely taking that. It's 1-0 to Braga, who was taking that pitch, hoping that they potentially would throw down to second. So now you can get a hit here. You should be able to score two with great speed on the base pass. 1-0. Braga hits it over to Fish, who can't make the play, but Danahy's backed up. The run will score. Now Danahy in a run. Now the throw is not in time, and Braga's in there at second. It's going to go as an error on the third baseman, and the Beacons have tied the game at 2 with Roxanne Vento stepping up with 2 runners in scoring position and 2 outs. That ball skipped up off of Fish. It could have been much worse for the Spartans, but Van Gordon backed her up, and they nearly got Danahy, who was running right at third base, in a run now. But fortunately for the Beacons, she headed back to second and then took third. First pitch to Vento, fouls it off. Huge spot for the Beacons' senior catcher and captain. Beacons have tied it. 0-1 to Vento, who is 1 for 7 on the day. Her only at bat against right here in this contest. Grounded back to the pitcher. 1-1 now. Vento, 193 career hits, 127 RBI. Just love to get to 128 right here. She's left 5 runners on today as the Beacons as a whole have struggled collectively getting that big hit. Still don't have an RBI hit on the day. So that was an error on the third baseman, Fish. Two and one now to Vento. Takes it wide, 3-1. First base is open, but Taylor Paulina, who's always been really good with runners on throughout her career, awaits on deck. 3-1. Do the Spartans give Vento something to hit? 3-1, misses, and that's a 5-pitch walk. So after the walk, the Beacons will pinch run with Vento for Sarah Harlinski as Paulina fouls the pitch off. It was going foul. It also hit her ponytail, which technically should be a foul ball. You don't see that very often, but that ball caught the back of her hair, which should have made it immediately a dead ball. Paulina has grounded out to second, grounded out to the first baseman on a bunt, and grounded out to the shortstop. 0-1 to Paulina, hit hard over to the second baseman, will go the short way to second. And the Beacons tie the game, but leave the bases loaded in the 6th. We head to the 7th. It's tied 2-2, and the daylight is going to become an issue with just 12 minutes of daylight left here in Boston. UMass Boston will re-enter Roxanne Vento and Tori DeCenso to start the 7th inning. For the Spartans, it'll be 9-1-2. Castleton scored 2 runs in the top of the 6th to take the lead, 2-1. The Beacons responded with a run in the bottom of the 6th to tie the game and leave 3 on. Castleton has left 6 runners on over the last 4 innings. The Beacons have left 11 runners total as Fack hits it out to shallow right. Paulina is there, and Kayla Fack is retired for the first out of the 7th. Depending on how this inning goes, the top and bottom, this could be the final inning of the game. With a tie game, it could cause some serious problems because if it factors into the ball is popped over to shortstop Braga, but Bellotta makes the play. So give Ari Bellotta yet another putout as Kate LePan is retired. You could potentially have Castleton having to come back to Boston or 2 teams meeting in a neutral site to play that final inning, or maybe 2 or 3, depending on how many extra innings they went through to get a winner. And we're talking about the final couple days of the regular season. Castleton has games on Saturday, so they definitely wouldn't do it that day. But let's just hope that we get a winner one way or another here in the final 10 minutes or so of sunlight we have. No lights here at the UMB softball field. Ball gets away, hit the glove of Vento and our home plate umpire, Paul Dion. Callie Van Gordon came up with a big hit in the 6th inning, her first hit of the day. A triple out to right center and scored to start the rally for the Spartans. 2-0 to Van Gordon. It's 1 for 3 in this contest. Takes it low, 3-0. 2-0 hitter for the Spartans. You want to end it right here if you're Hayley Catania and the Beacons. (3-0) from Catania in there for strike 1. Got to imagine it's a little tougher for the pitchers here in game 2 with the wind and the temperatures dropping. It cannot be easy to get a good grip on the ball. My fingers are freezing. The 3-1 is hit out over towards the second baseman, Danahy, who makes the running play. The Beacons will have a chance to walk off in the bottom of the 7th. It will be 5, 6, 7. Tully, Pressmack, and DeCenso as UMass Boston looks for the key doubleheader split against the Spartans. Alyssa Tully, Kira Pressmack, and Tori DeCenso for the Beacons. Working against Kylie Wright here in the bottom of the 7th with the sun setting. First pitch to Tully is hit out to right. Coming in on it is Jana Ryan. And if you want to see an 8th inning, we're getting more and more likely because there's been a lot of first pitch swinging from both sides. Which is not necessarily a good strategy in a tie game. It makes sense if you're just trying to make sure you get through 5 innings, but this situation, not as important. Kira Pressmack has singled, reached on a fielder's choice and a ground ball to the shortstop and flown out to left. Fouls that one off, 0-1. 2-2, bottom of the 7th inning. The Beacons walked off twice last year against the Spartans. Trying to do it again here in the 4th ever contest between the two schools. 0-1, hit up high, but that should be playable. Tons of time for Millerick, and she will make the plays. There's 2 outs now. And it will be Tori DeCenso, who was pinch hitter last time up. She'll stay in. DeCenso has one hit on the day. That came in game one. In game two, she has struck out swinging, grounded, and put down a sac bunt. Takes the first pitch for a strike.
Tori DeCenso.
Giovanna Bonila waits on deck, a perfect 3 for 3. The run scored and a couple stolen bases. 0-1-2 DeCenso fouls that one off down the right field side. 0-2. Be one thing if these schools were Boston rivals or even two of the Massachusetts schools. The fact that there's such a long difference between these two schools in terms of geography means getting these two teams back together will not be easy. Also, will not be cheap. 0-2. DeCenso swings and misses, and we head to the eighth. That is the first strikeout for Wright here in game two. We head to the eighth. UMass Boston 2, Castleton 2 on a chilly April evening. Top of the eighth inning we go. Sunset scheduled for 7:35. It's 7:32 on the East Coast. So we'll see how much further we can go. It'll be Fish, Swain, and Millerick. 3, 4, 5 for the Spartans working against Catania, who's gone the full way. Hit over to the shortstop, Braga. And for the first time today, I think I can officially say I've seen my breath. So a quick out. We've seen quite a few of them. Both teams are swinging at first pitches. Tori Swain steps up to the plate. Swain had the RBI single back in the sixth inning that tied it before being retired on a fielder's choice. Hits it up the middle, and that's going to get past Braga. Back-to-back hits for Swain, who was held without a hit through the first 12 innings today, but has hits in each of her last two at-bats. Brings up Devin Millerick, who has struck out looking, doubled, and reached on a fielder's choice and scored the go-ahead run in the sixth, with the Beacons answered back with one of their own. Top of the eighth inning, Spartans took the first game 3-1. Millerick takes a rise ball 1-0. This officially went from one of the nicest days that we've had for a softball game to potentially the coolest. Certainly with the wind, it's not making it any easier. As Millerick hits it over the left side, tough play for Braga, long throw, it's across, not in time. An infield single for Millerick as Braga was playing deep in the hole and had to move a bit. So back-to-back singles by the Spartans, and it'll bring up Jamie Boyle, who has struck out looking. A line drive single to center and reached on a fielder's choice that Braga was able to get the runner to run into her. Catania has been tremendous. Ball hit right back at her. She'll go to third, and the throw is in time. That was close. Catania immediately looked at first, and that's why it was a close play, but she gets the lead runner, Tori Swain. And Catania appears to be okay after getting a ball ripped at her. The issue is Millerick, the fastest runner, is at second base. So anything hits the outfield could be a run. Millerick at second, Boyle at first, and the first pitch is in there to Arjevich. And honestly, at this point, I would intentionally walk her. Arjevich is yet to be retired, came through with an RBI single last time, 5 for 5 with the hit by pitch. I would make whoever hits eighth beat you. Swung on and missed. With Millerick as fast as she is, A single here likely scores a run. Yes, she's been thrown out once, but she's just so fast. Put the pressure on someone else. Jana Ryan is in the on-deck circle, but that's me. Talia Ardagna is going to let Catania face her, and she hits her. That's a fine outcome there. Bases loaded. Second time that Arjovic has been hit today. She's reached all 7 times she's been at the plate.
Now batting the right fielder, Gina Ryan.
So Millerick at third. Obviously, you got to keep the ball in front of you if you're Vento. Boyle at second. Arjovic at first for Gina Ryan, who is 0 for 2 with a pair of strikeouts. It's also lined back to the pitcher. Fouls it back, and that one hit the very edge of the screen behind home plate. A couple Beacons baseball players who have waited out all 8 innings here in Game 2 ducked out of the way, and that's when you know the ball's hit hard, when your third baseman and second baseman on the baseball team are diving out of the way. 0-1 here to Ryan, who will hit it softly down the third base line. Bellotto was in foul territory but drew contact. Can't get it out that way. It's 0-2. Catania has 4 strikeouts in this contest, 2 of them against Ryan. Trying to get out of it, and then you'd have to give the Beacons the bottom of the 8th, but I think that you're probably looking at the last inning. If maybe you have one more, as that's just off the corner. 1-2, very, very close. One and two, 2 outs. The base is loaded in the 8th. That's low. 2-2. Weather.com says it's still 51 degrees. Feels like 47, but that is not UMB softball field conditions. It's probably a solid 10 to 15 degrees cooler what the feels like here. See, it's chopped foul, and we'll do it again. 2-2 between Ryan and Catania. Beacons trying to get one last ups with a tie game rather than having to come from behind like they had to do in the 6th. For the Beacons in the 8th, it'll be Bonilla, Danahy, and then the top of the order. 2-2, chopped foul. Ryan doing a good job of spoiling some pitches. At some point, you do have to wonder, at what point is it too dark to play? I don't think we've hit that point yet, but we're certainly getting closer. 2-2, swung on and missed. A huge strikeout from Catania to leave the bases loaded. We head to the bottom of the 8th. Can the Beacons find that all-important third run? We'll find out after this. Giovanna Bonila will lead off for the Beacons. Typically the 2-hole hitter in the 8th spot. What has she done? Singled 3 times, stole a base, and scored the game-tying run in the bottom of the 6th. Bonilla, the junior center fielder out of Queens, New York, looking to come through again. takes the first pitch high, 1-0. It's noticeably darker between that last strikeout and this at-bat. Just shows you we're already past sunset. Now there is some light coming on the left field side, but not a ton of it. 1-0 is bunted. It's going to be a tough play for Fish. Picks it up, throws the second baseman, wasn't covering. It's an infield single, and the Beacons have the game-winning run at first base on a perfect bunt from Giovanna Bonila. 4 for 4, and that was a beauty of a bunt. She now has 49 hits on the season. Not too bad for a player who had 15 combined her first 2 years.
Now batting the second baseman.
Brings up Kelly Danahy. Shows bunt, puts it foul. This is a clear bunt situation. Need to get that runner up to second base. Danahy does have a couple of sack bunts on the year. And by a couple, I mean one. Looking for number 2. 0-1, shows bunt, puts it down foul, and she'll have to swing away. The successful execution of sack bunts is not going to be a storyline in this game. See if Danahy can come through. She has had a nice day. She has walked twice in this game, stole a base, reached all 3 times as she reached on a fielder's choice, officially 0 for 1. 0-2, hit hard, but right at the second baseman, LePan. Van Gordon's going to throw it across, but again, it's tough to double up Danahy with her speed. And there is 1 out with the runner on first as Danahy unable to get down the sack bunt. And that's tough because now instead of having a runner at second with 1 out, you have a runner at first. Brings up Ari Bellata, 0 for 4 out of the leadout spot, looking for that first hit. Danahy does have good speed. Not quite as fast as Bonilla, but still very fast. Bellata takes the first pitch, hits it right at Swain, and the Beacons have a runner at second with 2 down for Gigi Braga. Been a familiar situation. Braga has walked twice, singled, stole a base, and in the 6th, she hit the ball that skipped up over Fish, allowing Bonilla to score the game-tying run. The Beacons loaded the bases in the 6th and left the bases loaded. UMass Boston has left the bases loaded twice in this game. 11 total in the game, looking to avoid a 12th. First pitch to Braga, shows bunt, bunts it foul, 0-1. Again, we've run out of sunlight, let's be honest at this point. And you just wonder how much longer this game will go. If the Beacons don't win it right here, I'd be curious to see if they go to a 9th inning because both teams need to have a chance to hit in the 9th. Braga shows bunt, doesn't connect, 0-2. Big thing here is Roxanne Vento awaits on deck. Can you get to Vento playing in her final home game, a chance to walk it off? Now, Braga could certainly do it, but what a story it would be for Vento if she were to get the chance. 0-2 to Braga, takes it low, 1-2. Two in the bottom of the 8th. The Beacons took a 1-0 lead in the 2nd. Castleton scored 2 in the top of the 6th. The Beacons answered with 1 run in the bottom of the 6th to get us to a 2-2 game. 1-2. Braga self-defense swing, fouls it off. And Josh Bartley, the Beacons' third base coach, tries to get it back into play as fast as possible. Everybody recognizes the constraints of the little light we have left. 1-2 from right. Hit over to the third baseman, tough play. Fish, field, scoops, throws, and making the play is Swain. They are going to say safe. Arnie Walker can't believe it. Arnie Walker was waiting for a call from Paul Dion. They're going to rule Braga safe at first base. This is a crucial call. I couldn't really tell one way or another. Swain made a nice effort to scoop it on a low throw from Fish. We'll see if Dion overturns Walker. They're going to call it a infield single, and the Beacons have runners at the corners for Vento. Castleton will meet at the circle. The question here is, do you pitch to Vento, who was walked her last time up to load the bases for Paulina? Either way, you're facing a senior who's a big-time RBI machine. Beacons will get a chance here. That was a bang-bang play. We don't have the benefit of instant replay with our one-camera shoot. It looked very close. From the first impression, I thought that Swain held on to the bag and it wasn't out, but it's tough to tell. And first and third for Vento, who left 5 on, including the bases loaded in the second. A chance to walk it off in her final home game. Storybook finish, and what a big win this would be. First pitch to Vento. Misses outside. I don't think they're going to give her anything good to hit, even if they do approach Vento here. Taylor Paulina awaits anxiously on deck. She knows it could come down to her as that rise ball is high and away. 2-0. Paulina does not have a hit in this second game, but she certainly has had her fair share of huge hits throughout her career. 2-0. Vento thought about it, held off, and taking second base with the steal is Braga. And that's big. You want to take out as many force outs as possible. Braga obviously is not the game-winning run. 3-0 misses, and the bases are full, and Vento and Paulina will have a little chat, and Paulina will have a chance to end this game. Had a sacrifice fly in game 1. Paulina has grounded out to second, put down a bunt that was fielded by the first baseman and retired, grounded out to short, and retired on a fielder's choice, the second baseman. Winning run at third base, Kelly Danahy, as the first pitch is fouled off. 0-1. Braga's at second, Vento's at first. Now, obviously, a force out at any base, so even if the run scores, you have to make sure to get to your base before you begin a possible celebration. Wright looks in. The 0-1 pitch, taken on the outside half, 0-2. This is almost certainly the last batter of this game, at least today. 0-2 with the bases loaded and 2 outs. Beacons looking for the split, looking to walk it off. The freshman's 0-2 offering is hit softly over to Fish. Can take it herself. She bobbles it. She can't get to the bag. The Beacons win it on a walk-off error. UMass Boston wins it. Braga beats Fish to the bag, and it's an error to give the Beacons the win and earn a win on the final home game. It wasn't pretty, but UMass Boston earns the 3-2 victory in Castleton. Shocked a pair of calls go against the Spartans here in the 8th inning, and the Beacons earn the 3-2 win.